Yo, what's good? In this video, I'm been going over this paper transition. I've done it before, but this time I have a way easier workflow with a little bit more advanced techniques that integrated as well. Stay tuned. All right, so on my timeline, I got 4 freeze frame clips. This first clip here, I got it set. If I hit Control D, got it set for a duration of 2 seconds, and the rest of them are all 1 second apiece. I'm gonna go in my media pool now. I'm gonna grab one of my textures from my texture pack, which I currently have on sale for 10 bucks. There'll be a link in the description down below. I'm gonna grab a texture and place it on top of my clip. I'm gonna shorten it to the same length. And then I'm going to inspect the tab and actually zoom in on it to make it the same size. In the composite mode, I'm gonna change from normal to screen. Now, one thing I don't like about doing this method is that it more or less kind of drowns out more of the texture. You more or less just get the white overlay, or the white lines rather. But if I go into the color page, I can just simply turn on my gain and then bring a lot of that texture back in. Now you have more of a paper effect. Turn on the gamma. I'm gonna tweak the gamma just a little bit. Then I'll probably bring down the lift, make it a little more darker. And now you more or less have a true texture. Now that that's done, I'm asked to select both these clips. I'm gonna right click and create a new compound clip. And I'm gonna repeat the process, but I'm gonna change it up a little bit. Like for this one here, I'm gonna bring in a different texture. I'm gonna shorten it up to match over it. And then I'm going to inspect the tab. I'm gonna change the composite mode to screen. And then I'm gonna go back up here to rotate angle. I'm gonna double click and I'm gonna change it to 90 degrees. Then I'm gonna zoom down a little bit just to bring the texture more or less directly over my main subject. Then back in the color page, I'm gonna add a lot more gain to bring up that texture effect. Then select my clips and turn it to a new compound clip. I have a keyboard shortcut for C. So I hit C and then hit create. I'm gonna place the texture over my next clip, shorten to be the same size. Once again, I'm gonna go into angle and rotate it 90 degrees. I'm gonna change, you can also use add too if you don't want to use screen. Change the add. I'm gonna zoom down a little bit. And then use position. I'm gonna use my position parameter. Move it over just a little bit. I go back into the color page and once again, add some gain. Now the reason I'm setting up my texture like this, because I'm actually gonna take this into Fusion, I'm gonna mask all this out. So once again, create another compound clip and repeat for the last one. Now I got my textures all planned out. I'm gonna actually place them on top of my first clip. And I'm gonna go down and select my compound clip 2. And I'm gonna hit the period key to move it over 5 frames. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I take my compound clip 3, line it over compound clip 2, and then hit the period key again 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to move over 5 frames. And once again, I'll repeat that for clip 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's gonna come in as my background, and then the rest will come in one by one. Now I'm gonna select my second compound clip. I'm gonna right click and open in Fusion. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab a rectangle node. I'm basically just gonna size the rectangle node up to match with the framing of my subject and the texture. I add a little bit of a soft edge, very little. Then I take that output of a rectangle node, connect it to the media, and then it gives me my image. Now what I want to do is actually I want to cut this out for each one of these little frames of this texture. To do that, we're going to use the Mac Control node. So with the media one selected, I'm going to go over here to the toolbar and select Mac Control. And then I'm gonna grab another rectangle node. And if you have the Mac Control selected, it will add the rectangle node, but it's gonna add it in the wrong spot. It's gonna add it in the mask input. We actually need it in the green input. So I'm gonna just move it around. And then I'll just take my rectangle node and try to size it up with one of these boxes. And you can use the on-screen controls or you can use the inspector if you want. I'm just gonna use the on-screen control. I find it a bit faster. Zoom in and just readjust accordingly. You want to try to keep this within the parameters of the picture. If you go out of bounds of the picture, you'll start getting a black background. Now I select my Mac Control node. I go to the Inspector tab where it says Combine. It says None, and to drop down and change it to Combine Alpha. It's going to mask out that part of the subject. and it's gonna make everything else go white. To fix that, go down here to the and check the box that says post multiply image. Go back into our toolbar here, grab another Mac control, take the output of your media 1 and connect it to the yellow input of the Mac control. Take the output of the Mac control and connect it back to your first one. It's going to create a merge node. Grab you another rectangle node, or you can grab a polygon. You can use either one of these. I'm just using rectangle since everything's pretty much boxed out. And then I'm just going to resize the box again for the next section of the photo. Once you make your adjustments, take the output of the rectangle mask, connect it to the green input, and go back into the inspector tab, change combine to combine alpha. And once again, you get the same results, and then check that post multiply image. Now under this Mac control, I'm going to go in here and actually grab a transform node. With that, you'll be able to move this photo, part of the photo around. And notice I don't really have the white outline like I did in the first one, so I can go back into my rectangle and I can just make some little fine adjustments. And to be able to move your first cutter around, you can select these nodes here. I'm just moving to the side. I go back and select the Mac control node and grab a transform, and they allow me to move the first image around. All right, so this looks a lot more complicated than what it actually is. I simply just took my media on and connected to each one of the Mac controls I made. I have 6 in total because this photo is actually broken into 6 different squares. Each one of the mats, I have a transform that allows me to actually move the individual frames around. And then of course, attached to those transform is a rectangle mask that I use to actually cut out my picture. And within the Mac control, on the combine, I have the settings set to combine alpha, and then I have post multiply image in order to be able to see these individual squares. So it looks really complicated, but it's really not. Now with them all together, it looks like a complete image. Then I can go through and use my transform to kind of move them around a little bit. So I can move this to the side and basically create a little bit of space in between the photos. Now that I have everything separated, I'm going to my media pool, which is actually on the second screen because my Davinci 18.5 is acting kind of weird. So I bring it in, is a media 2. I connect it, and now you see my tape. I'm just going to use the merge node to actually resize it. I got this tape from Motion Array. It's a link in the description down below. Like I said, I'm going to use the merge node to resize it. I'm going to zoom in. I'm just going to place it over the individual tears. So I'm going to bring down the size just a little bit more. And I use the center X and Y axis to place it. I got a couple of different ones, so I can bring in the media 3, place it. Use the merge to resize it. And I'm gonna place this one here. Actually, I'm gonna place this in between the two, right in the middle. And then I just can basically just continue to repeat. Now I got my tape placed. I actually want this to animate over time. Bring down the blend on my tape textures. And just bring them all to 0 for right now. Then I'll go back to my merge 1. And I do the same thing. I actually do the same on all these merges. And just notice it's going to fade away the individual pieces that I cut out. Of course, the first part of my texture is going to animate in from the edit page. So back on the edit page, you'll notice when I hit play, my first texture pop up, which would be just the head of my next image. Then I'm gonna animate the rest. With my merge 1, I'm going to select a keyframe in the inspector tab. I'm going to play, I'm going to go about 4 frames. I'll set another keyframe. Then I go to 5. And then crank it up to 100. Then animating the next part of my photo. From there, I'm only going to skip about 2 frames. So I go frame 6, merge 2. Set the keyframe, then go to merge 7 and go to frame 7. I'm sorry, crank it up. Once again, merge 3. I'll go to frame 8, set a keyframe, then go to frame 9, crank it up. So now if you play that back, you see me animating one at a time. And then I got animating in my tape. So this animation actually ends right at 13. I'm gonna go to 14. I'm just gonna animate all these at the same time. So each one of them, I want to have the keyframe set at 14. I go to frame 17 and then I animate them all back up. So I play it back, the animates in. Now you notice the tape kind of slowly fades in. For some odd reason, Davinci Resolve is acting weird. It's not activating my spline or showing me my spline and my media pool on one monitor. I have to go to a second monitor for whatever reason. But anyway, I'm going to go through and select all my merge nodes. With them all selected, I'm going to select zoom to fit. I'm going to select all, and then I'm going to hit step in. I'm going to get a sharp, like 90-degree box animation. And so back on my main monitor, it all animates in really quickly. Now if I go back to the edit page, I can select my compound clip 2. I'm going to use the little transform window here. Activate this, and I'm just going to move it over to this side. If I go through and deactivate these two for the time being, you can see the full animation. Now, one last thing I want to add is a shake. So if I go and hit Control Space, hit Camera Shake, I add it to my node flow. This is going to activate the shake for the entire composition. Of course, it's very wild. So I'm actually going through here and drop this all the way down as pretty much as low as I can. Want a very subtle shake. And so in the X and Y axis, I use 0.5. You're gonna go through and compound clip and repeat more or less the same thing. I'm just gonna just mask out the subject. So I'm going to fusion. I'm gonna grab another rectangle mask, and then I'm just gonna reshape it to where it's only in the texture area. Then I go to the inspector tab, add a little bit of softness. That's gonna be all I'm gonna do for that one. Once again, I use the transform window. I'm gonna move this over to this side, and then compound clip 4. I'm gonna go through and mask it out as well. Take it into fusion, grab another rectangle mask. Now for this one, I'm actually gonna use the Mac control node to actually divide this in two. I'll skip past it for now though. Now for this one, I divided into two pieces, and I added a little piece of tape and animated it with the camera shake as well. So back on the edit page, they animate in. I'm gonna grab the compound clip 4 and I just zoom down on it to make it a little bit smaller and just kind of move it to the side. And so now we're gonna bring it all together. I'm gonna select all my clips, right click, create a new compound clip. And then I'm going to my inspector tab. I've already typed it in, got flash right here. I'm bringing it to the beginning of my clip. Inspector tab, I'm gonna go over and click on frames and set it for 5 frames. Then I'm gonna click on that transition, hold Alt, and then I'm gonna move it over to the end to make a copy of it. Once again, it's at 5 frames. That pretty much gives you the effect. But at that point, you just bring it in with the rest of your footage and you're good to go. I appreciate you watching the video. If you have any questions about color grade, make sure you drop them down in the comment section down below. I'm working on a video for that, trying to script it out and everything. I want to try to hit all the points. So be sure to leave a comment down below. Until the next video, y'all be easy.